MMA, but he's got multiple kickboxing fights, 8 of them.
Oh, well, that speaks to his striking, right?
Exactly. So if he's got that well-rounded jiu-jitsu like most of these guys and girls do from Synthesis, with that striking acumen, this could be a barn burner.
Hey, listen, once I heard a wise man once say that the stars have a way to find the camera, and as you see Mitch White walk out, he smiles at the camera, shows his stuff, and that's always the mark of a true star here. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table inside the cage.
Mukhtar Barros, 2-0. We last saw him November of 2024 with a Cage Wars decision win.
Hey, and listen, like I said, you know, just to juxtapose him to his brother here, Mukhtar is the more reserved one, and I think his fighting style reflects that. Musa is more aggressive and willing to get in those dangerous exchanges. Mukhtar is more calculated in his approach and a little bit more reserved from what I've seen of him. So I'm excited to see how this fight works out.
All right, here we go. Getting ready to go in. Mitch White, very excited about this.
Just taking it all in, man. Taking in the energy. This is a packed arena, bunch of fans in the crowd here, and they're letting the fighters know exactly how they feel about every fight, so.
Making his way into the cage, and now we notice no shin guards, Big L.
And no shin guards, that's when it gets real. So for all you guys who came to see the violence and the blood and the pain, you're finally getting what you wanted.
And I believe, if I'm correct, in Mitch White's corner is Jonathan Piersma. Cage Wars veteran, pro fighter now. I believe he's a champion in one of the organizations.
At Cage Titans here, I think.
Yeah, intense, amazing fighter. I watched him really just come in and go hard in here. He's a talented guy, tough guy.
Like I said, there's a bunch of pros there at Synthesis Jiu-Jitsu out there in Rochester, which is a hotbed for MMA. They have a few promotions out there, and you know, their fighters get a lot of experience and action. So I'm sure he's going to be ready to fight, but I know for a fact Mukhtar is a man that prepares himself properly. You see his family backing him. His brother,
I love it. His brother,
team, his coach,
daughter,
the Jucal squad, and Army.
And again, Farshad on his left side. You know, I can't say enough about how much of a difference he's made for that team. He really has. Yeah. And he's a true martial artist, so he holds them accountable. Like, one thing about Jucal is they're so friendly that sometimes with each other they lose a little bit of structure.
The line, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Farshad, I mean, that's one of the things
he brings that back.
Yes, it was tough for the guys to get used to because they said, wow, he's really strict in the gym.
Yes, he is. Hey, listen, sometimes you need that.
You always need that.
Iron fist, or velvet glove over the iron fist.
Well, especially when the general, you know, culture of the gym is more fun and you love to hang out with each other. You know, you got to have that guy. Hey,
Mukhtar's got his veins bulging out the armpits. It's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, he looks to be in incredible shape for this fight.
Real militant in his in the way he prepares.
I think he's going to want to go out there and get a finish.
Yes. And still explosive. Like I said, he's reserved and more calculated in his approach, but he's still explosive and can unleash a flurry at any moment in time. So do not blink. Do not turn your eyes from this fight.
This is going to be a hell of a fight right here.
Yes. Hey, we got the fans in the chat, man, debating the sportsmanship from the last fight. Who was at fault there? I don't think we ever came to a conclusion. But
like I said, I mean, Woody pushed him off pretty hard, but throwing that spinning back fist is, you know.
Hey, listen, as far as I'm concerned, right and wrong, history is written by the victors, so.
I thought about that. I heard somebody say something the other day. It's very interesting that all the good guys won all the wars in history.
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? And listen, as far as I'm concerned, the winner was right and the loser was wrong. So just to put that debate to rest there.
Mukhtar, definitely the calmer of the two brothers, just nice and relaxed.
Yeah, like I said, if you've ever been around them two, you know that Mukhtar is the more quiet one and the more reserved one, but that is not to be remiss because he's a silent killer.
All right, here we go. He looks like a big 45er, too.
Yes, they're both very, very, very well put together, very, very explosive and athletic.
We're going to bring it up to Mike Falvo.
This is not...
The action continues on the card for Cage Wars 69 with our upcoming contest. 3 3-minute rounds in our featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. His official weight, 145 pounds. Representing Synthesis Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu out of Rochester, New York, Money Mitch Mitch White. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall. His official weight, 144.8 pounds. Representing Team Jucal out of Scotia, New York, Mukhtar Barros.
Mukhtar, definitely the hometown favorite.
Man in charge of the action at the sound of the bell is Dan Mergliata.
Mitch White looks like he gives 0 fucks, though.
Yeah, he looks like he's ready to go. He looks locked in.
Definitely the taller guy with the advantage in the reach.
And we spoke on earlier, Synthesis having pros in their gym, but that's not to be remiss that Jucal also has pros in their gym here.
And a guy like Luis Melendez getting ready for his karate combat fights is a great partner.
That was a nice teep and answered by a nice low kick that Mitch White was clearly affected by.
You see Mukhtar knowing he's got to close that distance.
Yes, he might not care about the crowd, but that leg kick, he definitely cares about that.
Mukhtar's got to keep that chin down.
He's looking for that overhand right there.
Mitch doing a good job downloading on Mukhtar, kind of seeing what's going to happen when he throws a punch or a feint.
Both fighters using those kicks very, very well.
Musa with the jumping kick.
Yeah, Mitch White
Mitch does a nice job with the feints.
Yep, and he's using his length. He's throwing teeps and jabs, trying to keep Mukhtar, away from him here.
Trying to beat up on that left leg of Mukhtar.
Yeah, but he's already eaten a couple really, really hard leg kicks to the thigh there.
Starting to get red. He's giving his own, though, too.
Yep.
But, you know, the thing that's really underestimated about leg kicks, when you throw a good leg kick, your foot wraps around the back of the thigh.
Oh, and Mukhtar caught that and hit him on the overhand. That rocked him a bit there.
Mukhtar looking to be the more defensive counter fighter.
Yeah, I said he's more,
Which a lot of times is better if you're trying to close distance.
Unless you're getting hit with those leg kicks and getting caught at the end of punches.
Well, but that being said, there's nothing saying he can't check those.
Yeah, exactly. You're already seeing some redness over the eye here of Mitch White. I don't know exactly what strike caused that, but
he's seeing something there with that leg kick.
Yeah, Mitch White's finding it. It's found its home a few times.
I mean, I've not seen Mukhtar try to check it or even shelf the kick yet.
I think he's trying to answer it with some overhands, with some big punches. Which isn't a bad strategy if you can land.
But you can still shelf the kick and return with a punch.
Yeah.
By externally rotating that foot.
Oh, man, and at this point, you're starting to see the redness on Mukhtar's lead leg here.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, the foot was wrapping right around the back of his leg.
Ooh, right there. And his head hit the back of the canvas. Mitch White doing a really good job staying alive here.
If I'm Mukhtar, I'm saying get back up.
I don't know if there's heel hooks allowed.
No, there's
here.
not. There is not.
And that's why you don't throw them in MMA. Cause
no rotating leg locks. Yep. Only straight knee bars or
your head is available for those strikes there. Mukhtar still needs to suck his leg out of there. I would step out of there if I was him.
Whoa.
And nice up kick.
With a guy with long legs like that and a shorter guy on top, it can be very dangerous.
Hey, Mitch White needs to get his knee over his, not Mitch White, but Mukhtar needs to get his knee over his toe here. Kind of get his weight leaning forward on Mitch White here. Kind of a knee on belly type of situation.
Yeah, pin him down and stop that movement.
Or just suck your leg out completely. That's what.
Wow, nice job by Mitch White.
That's the danger of leaving your leg in there.
Yep, and he waited till the right opportunity and changed that center of gravity. Now, what can he do here, though? That's the key.
Mitch White?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, good transition.
Listen, he's passing. He's cutting through.
Here we go with the ground and pound of the face, folks. Final few seconds.
Time.
Wow, great first round.
And that round was so exciting I didn't even hear the thing click. Oh, and there goes you can see the effects on the leg kick there.
Oh, yeah.
Mukhtar stumbling on the way up. That's where when in between these rounds, that's where it starts settling in, man.
Yeah, the adrenaline starts to come down a little bit.
It starts settling in. You feel those leg kicks, they have their effect as the fight goes on.
Really slows him down. And again, if he's got to close a distance, the more you slow him down, the harder it is for him to close that distance.
If Mukhtar takes anything good away from that round, it was that he established those power strikes. Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. We see him using those kicks.
Nice head kick here.
Varying those kicks up. Mukhtar does a nice job with that overhand right.
That overhand right.
Mitch White comes right back with that jab cross.
Yep, there goes that leg kick. Vicious. Rip into the thigh.
Mitch White doing a nice job. Punches, kicks, different kinds of kicks, angles.
Controlling the range here. Keeping him at distance, keeping him at bay.
Here we go, start of the second round.
Yep.
Both these guys look ready.
Yep, both of them.
And again, just like the last fight, there's definitely a skill increase here.
Definitely, 100%. You see the sophistication in the strikes and the grappling. Mitch White looks ready. Mukhtar looks ready. Let's see how the second round unfolds here. Live from the Cooling Insurance.
Cool Insuring Arena.
Cool Insuring Arena, Glens Falls, New York. Legendary arena, by the way. Mike Tyson had one of his early pro fights here.
Cage Wars 69 Freedom Night brought to you by Anthony Constantino for Congress of the 21st District.
Let's go. And you can tell his corner said that outside leg kick is there all day. And you can see it, man. It's real red.
Now, with that being said, a lot of times the guy starts to anticipate that outside leg kick.
We get some wrestling from Mitch White here.
They expect the outside leg kick, so start throwing that inside leg kick.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, and I know Mukhtar got a good wrestling background. To see this wrestling from Mitch White here is very, very impressive.
Well, and I think at the end of that last round, when he got down to the ground with Mukhtar, I think he realized that he feels comfortable there and he's not 100% in threat. So he feels good going there right now.
Again, I'd like to see Mukhtar here, try to find an opportunity to get back to his feet. Oh, he's over the top of his head.
But again, that's tough to really do much with at this point in the game.
Yeah, like I said, at this point, you're really just looking for an opportunity to get back to your feet.
Mitch White going to fight the right hand of Barros. And again, Barros just tiring the arm out, holding that position.
Yeah, I don't think it's the best investment to make at this point.
No, because the tide is definitely shifting.
Yes. And the judges are looking at this as Mitch White winning the round.
Now, can Barros get that other arm in?
Or use this choke to slide that leg out.
Mitch doing a really nice job. We see Jorge Masvidal in the background there, straight across the cage from us. The original BMF himself.
Hey, Cage War's been bringing out the stars recently. Mike Tyson, Roger Stone.
We've been bringing out the stars. Back when I fought 2014 here, we had Dustin Poirier.
Hey, a historical organization.
Absolutely, first and foremost in New York State.
Hey, and right here, if I'm Mukhtar, I'm opening my guard and trying to get to my feet.
Yeah, you got to put some feet in the hips. You got to open the guard. You got to elevate, change the center of gravity of your opponent, and look for that opening. And again, if you're Mitch White, there's no real reason to rush. Jorge Masvidal, very, very interested in this fight.
Yeah, he likes what he sees. Great ground and pound. We're finally seeing some strikes to the head here. Knee to the neck right now. That's mean.
He came out when the shin guards were gone. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah.
BMF don't do shin guards.
You don't do shin guards. Hey, Burrow's looking for that guillotine again. He's got it pretty tight.
Nah, he doesn't have the angle, though.
Yeah, but you see it's bothering Mitch White. He's really trying to get his head out of there. Yeah, but like you said, at this point, he might just be tiring his arms out a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with coaches before, and they said if you're not getting it in 5 seconds, let it go.
Yeah, let it go. I agree.
That specific move. You can go back to it, but try something else to open it up. Mitch White not even taking a seat.
Yeah, that's a power play there.
Yeah, it is. His coach is really hyping him up, expressing the importance of coming out and finishing this round.
Yes, finishing strong. Keeping himself safe here. We know Mukhtar's looking for that big overhand right. We know Mitch White's trying to keep him at bay, keep him at distance with those strikes, really control the distance and turn this into a grappling match. So I'm excited to see how this fight plays out here. But when you have a big power puncher like Mukhtar, the fight is never over until the fat lady sings, as you will.
But he's not been able to close the distance to use those hands.
Yes.
And when he has closed the distance, he's tried a level change.
Yep.
So it's almost like he's leaving out one of his big weapons.
Exactly.
All right, round 3 of 3. Mukhtar looking really tired.
Yeah. That's where those muscles.
Oh, that leg.
And you see those kicks coming from all different angles, different levels.
Man, it's going to be tough to walk tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. And the day after that.
Nice teep.
Ooh.
I love a good teep when you stab.
And Mukhtar got a good leg kick as Mitch White was kicking on the other foot. That makes those leg kicks hurt even more. And a nice shot.
Very good shot.
If you're Mukhtar here, you got to work your legs back and start getting to your feet. Use that cage. Slide up against the cage. Start working up.
Right now it seems like he's just focusing on holding on to Mitch White.
Yeah.
You know, and basically what that equates to is accepting a position if you're not trying to roll.
Yeah, you got to work to your feet, man.
All right, here we go. Mitch White with top position. Pressure against the cage.
Yeah, he's got Mukhtar in a bad position there against the cage. Kind of standing up.
You know, when you're against the cage, it really limits your escape options.
Yeah,
it will help you walk up the cage, but...
He's got to open up his guard and get his feet on the mat there and start pushing his back up against the cage, using the cage to stand up.
Or at least feet on the hips.
Yeah, feet on the hips even.
Closed guard's not good right now with a tall guy like White because he's going to stay there and just deliver punishment.
Yeah, Mitch White dominate with the grappling exchanges to secure another round.
And all things considered, if this round ended right now, I'd give it at least 2-1 to Mitch White.
Yes, at least 2-1. That first round is tough to judge. But this last round, these last 2 rounds, I think, are firmly in Mitch White's hands.
And to me, Mitch White has just made Mukhtar fight his fight.
Yeah.
You know, Mukhtar's a tough guy, 2-0, but Mitch White has dictated the pace and dictated where and how the fight happens.
All right.
He's winning that game of chess.
Yeah, he's winning that game of chess with violence, brain cell chess, if you will. And he saved himself some brain cells.
He did. He did.
And he's got some ground and pound. Just putting the cherry on the cake here. Oh, Mukhtar punching off his back, though.
And again, just delivering punishment, just eating up the time.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there's no lay and pray. You know, he looks to his corner for direction, implements the direction.
I think if we can take anything from these fights so far tonight, if you're an MMA fighter, aspiring, or a coach, man, really work with your fighters on, building back up to your feet. If you're on your back. Oh, and he's unleashing with that ground and pound.
Wow, great fight by both these guys, but Mitch White definitely has the edge.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and he's a promising prospect, both guys. But Mitch White put a really good fight together against a really tough opponent.
And if somehow Barros won, I would be concerned about ballot tampering. We are in New York. No voter ID needed here.
Hey, listen, you know what they say. It's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and for the folks at home who don't know where your nickname came from.
Yeah. Let me give the backstory?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, well, the backstory was, man, my grandma, I was at a dark time in my life, man. I came down with the diabetes. And if anybody who has that knows, when you first come down with it, you piss a lot. So I was at my grandma's house, and I was just pissing nonstop. And she was like, boy, stop flushing my toilet.
Man, you did not tell me that. You told me you pissed on somebody in college. Don't you lie on air.
She was like, stop flushing.
Nah, don't you lie. You told me you pissed on somebody in college. Don't go there, big piss.
She was like, boy, stop flushing my toilet. And I was like, Grandma.
Man, you are lying. You pissed on your teammate in college. Don't you do that.
And they dropping the AOs in the chat.
Why are you lying to the fans at home?
Hey, listen, I'm trying to stay dropping the AOs.
He pissed on his roommate. Up to Mike Falvo.
As always, fight fans, a round of applause for 2 great fighters and one hell of a contest. After 3 hard-fought rounds of mixed martial arts action, we go to the official scorecard. The judges have scored the fight 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27 for your winner by way of unanimous decision, Money